Hello everyone, I'm Yadagiri Reddy and welcome to my channel HYR Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to explain about how you can read the data from PDF file using Apache PDF Box. So here, this is my agenda for today's session guys. So here you can see these are the points I'm going to explain in this video. So the first point is, what is Apache PDF Box? So if you want to work with Apache PDF Box, first we should know what exactly this is, right? So the next one is how to download the Apache PDF Box inside the normal Java project as well as Maven project. So generally the people are actually using these two projects, right? So some people create the normal Java project and some people create the Maven project. So I'm going to show you how you can download this Apache PDF Box into the normal Java project as well as Maven project also, okay? And the next one is how to read the data from PDF file using Apache PDF Box. So here when I say PDF file, that file can be available inside my local machine. So if I download the file, that file will be available inside my local machine, right? So I will show you how to read the data from this local machine file. And I will also show you how to read the data from file which is available in the internet. So if you don't download the file into our local machine, the file will be available in the internet only, right? So you can directly open the PDF files in the browser itself. That option is also available, right? So the PDF file will be available under one server and you can open that PDF file in the browser directly without downloading it. So here in this video, we will see that option also. Okay, that means we will see how to read the data from the PDF file which is downloaded and available inside the local machine. Also, we will see how to how to read the data from the file which is available directly in the internet. Okay. So these are the options. These are the points that we are going to discuss in this video, guys. So the first thing is, when we are discussing about PDF, first we should know what exactly a PDF is. Because many people don't know the full form of PDF, guys. Okay. So when you are dealing with PDF, first we should know basically what exactly a PDF is. So what exactly a PDF is? PDF means portable document format. So this is the full form of PDF, guys. So this is a very simple one, guys, but I saw many people who don't answer this question also, okay? So if I ask them like what is the full form of PDF, so many people are actually not able to answer. So that is why I'm saying whenever you read, whenever you are dealing with the PDF, first just know what exactly a PDF means, okay? So PDF is one type of document file and the full form of PDF is portable document format. For manipulating the data inside the PDF, we have some libraries available in the market, guys. So what are those libraries? So these are the libraries that are available in the market. So the first one is Apache PDF Box. So that is what this one is, right? So in this video, we will see what this Apache PDF Box only. And the next one is OpenPDF. This OpenPDF is also one library that is available for manipulating the data in the PDFs. And the next one is iText. So this is also for the same purpose, guys. So here the difference is this Apache PDF Box and OpenPDF are the open source files and these two are actually supporting the Java programming language. So that means these two are actually Java libraries, not the .NET or any other programming language. These two are available only for the Java programming language. Whereas this iText is a commercial one. That means it is a licensed version and it is supporting the Java as well as .NET programming language also. Okay. So here as this is including some cost factor and all, we are not going to touch this iText itself. So we want to always go with the free versions, right? Because we don't want to spend money and all, right? So that is why we will go with the open source tools here. So in this video, I'm going to cover this Apache PDF Box and in my upcoming videos, I will try to cover this OpenPDF also, right? Because this is also one open source one only. So why not to cover this one? So I will cover this one also, okay? So in this video, we'll mainly focus on the Apache PDF Box only, guys. So from this information, you can understand one thing, right? So Apache PDF Box is a Java library, right? It is a Java library and it is available in the open source format. That means anybody can use it, okay? You don't need to pay any amount for this. So one more thing is, so we have something called Apache POI also, right? So you all might have heard about this one. So what exactly this Apache POI will do? So for handling MS Office files, the MS Office files like Word or PPT or Excel. So like this, there are some files, right? So all these MS Office files can be handled using this Apache POI library. Just in the similar way, this Apache PDF Box or this OpenPDF, these are the Java libraries that are available to manipulate the data inside the PDF files. Okay, so here this Apache POI is supporting multiple files like Word, PPT, Excel and all. But this Apache PDF Box or OpenPDF is going to support only one type of format, that is going to be the PDF files. So when I say manipulation, what exactly it will come? So you can create the files, you can delete the files, you can write the data into the files, you can edit the data inside the files, and you can read the data from the files. And apart from these things, you can also perform some other additional operations. So what are those? So for suppose you have one PDF file and you want to split that PDF files into multiple child PDFs. So that also possible. Okay, and you have all these child PDF files, right? So now you want to merge all the child PDF files into one parent PDF file. So you want to merge into only one PDF file. So that is also possible. Okay, so you can do a lot of things using this Apache PDF box, guys. So you can read the data, you can write the data, you can delete the PDF files, and you can merge the PDF files, you can split the PDF files. So this is a very powerful tool. Okay, so now what exactly this Apache PDF box is, right? So Apache PDF box is a Java library, and it is available as part of an open source, and this is provided by the Apache Foundation. Okay, here you can see Apache. So this Apache POI and this Apache PDF box, these all libraries are actually provided by the Apache Foundation. So this Apache Foundation is actually established to provide the open source libraries for the Java programmers, basically, right? So this is one of the best library that Apache Foundation has provided. And the next one is how to download the Apache PDF box. So now we know that this is a library, right? So let me add something called libraries here. So it will be meaningful, right? So how to download the Apache PDF box libraries? So now first we will see the Java project, then we will go to the Maven project. Okay, so here in Java project, if you want to download these files, right, so we need to download 3 files basically. So what are those? The first one is PDF box, then font box, then commons logging. Okay, so these 3 are the files, these 3 are the jar files that we need to download and attach to our Java project, guys. Okay, so first let's download these. So where I can download those files? You can directly type them in the Google, or you can directly go to the Maven repository. So the Maven repository I like the most because it is a one place only, right? One place solution for everything. So let me go into this. So first I need to search for PDF box. So let me click on search. So this is the Apache PDF box library. So just click on that. So all the libraries, I'm going to choose the latest version, guys. So let me click on this, and here you can see we have something called files. Okay, so if you are dealing with the Maven project, you need to add this dependency. But if you are dealing with normal Java project, you need to download the files. But here we have something called bundle. So inside this bundle, we have so many files. Here when you click on this view all, you can see so many files here. Okay, but if you don't want to select from there, you can directly click on this one. So PDF box jar file is downloaded, right? So next what we want to download, I'll open another tab. So we want to download the font box, right? So let me go back here. Let me type font box. So here, this is the one, Apache font box, okay, which is also coming from the org.apache.pdf box only. So let me just open that. And same way, I'm going to choose the latest version. And here we have the Maven dependency, and here we have the files. So I need to download the file. So let me click on this. So once the file is actually downloaded, it will ask you to keep. So you have to just click on keep. So the next one is commons logging. So let me copy this. Let me go back here. So search for commons logging. So which is also coming from the Apache Foundation only. Okay. So Apache commons logging. Just open that and click on this, the latest version. And here also I need to download the jar file. So I'll click on jar here. So same way I need to click on keep. So all the jar files are actually downloaded, right? So let me copy all these jar files and go back to the Eclipse. So here you can see I have two projects basically. Selenium Java. This is a normal Java project, and Selenium Java Maven is a Maven project. So first I need to add the libraries to the normal Java project, right? So inside the resources, I'm going to create one folder. So you can directly add those libraries also, but I'm just creating the library, folder, because I want to organize these things. Okay. So I will say PDF box or Apache PDF box. Okay. So let me click on enter. So inside this folder, I want to add the libraries. So all the jar files are actually pasted into the project, but I need to add them to the build path, right? So I need to add them to the referenced libraries. Then only you can read the class or method that is present inside these libraries, right? So let me add them to the build path. Right click on that and go to build path and add to build path. Now these libraries are actually added to the referenced library section, right? So you can see now it is actually available under the project. So here we have just copy pasted. So when you copy paste, that doesn't mean like the libraries are actually available under the project. Okay. So when you add these libraries to the, referenced library section, then only these libraries are actually available under the project. So this is how we need to download and add the libraries to the normal Java project, guys. So now we will see how to add the libraries to the Maven project. So inside the Maven project, where do you add the libraries? We don't want to download the libraries, right? So the Maven project main thing is, you will not download any libraries. You will not directly download the libraries and physically add those libraries here. What exactly we will do? We will add the dependencies in the POM file. So this POM file is there, right? So in every Maven project, you will have something called POM file. So in the POM file, we are going to add the dependencies. So here we are going to add the dependency. Which dependency we want to add? We want to add the PDFBox dependency. Okay. So this is the only dependency that I'm going to add. So internally, it will download these three files. Okay. Commons logging, FontBox, and PDFBox. All these three files will be downloaded just with this one dependency only. Okay. So I'll just remove this comment line and let me align this. So let me save it. So here you can see the build is completed. That means the libraries are actually downloaded, and let me maximize this Maven dependencies. So here FontBox is available, PDFBox is available, and Commons logging is also available. That means it is already downloaded. Let me minimize this. Okay. So now I want to create one class file. So inside the src test, first I will create one package. So I'll simply say com.apache.pdfbox. Okay, just a normal name, guys. Okay, so inside this I want to create the class file PDF reader. So here I'm going to choose the normal testng class. So first I will create the class, then I will add the test methods. So why exactly I'm choosing the test method? We want to read the data from the PDF files. Why exactly we are reading the data from the PDF files? We want to verify whether the content is actually present inside that or not, right? So manually, when we want to verify any PDF file, we will open that. We will double click on the file and we will open that file, and with our human eyes, we will verify the content. Okay, we will just press Ctrl F and we will verify the content. But in the programmatic way, how do you do? We don't want to open the file and we want to see that, right? We don't want to sit in front of the system and verify the files, right? We want to do everything in the programmatic manner only, right? So that means we need to assert something, values also. If you want to verify whether the value is present or not, we need to assert. We need to use the assertions here. Okay. So here, instead of using JUnit or something, I'm going to choose the testng here. So in many Selenium WebDriver projects, we are going to use the testng only, right? So that is why I'm going to use the testng here. So let me first create the test class. So the test annotation is coming from the org.testng.annotations class file. So first I need to create one method. Public void, I'll say read PDF file. Okay, so this is my test method. So I'm not going to create any testng XML file or anything, guys, because I'm having only one test method here. So that is why I'm not going to create any of those things. So what exactly we will do is, so this point we are doing now, right? So we have completed what exactly this Apache PDFBox is and how to download the Apache PDFBox libraries into normal Java project as well as Maven project. So these 2 points are completed. Now we are executing this third point. We are discussing about the third point now. So first we will see this one. File is available in local machine. So first we will try to read the data from the file which is available inside the local machine, guys. That means the file should be already downloaded into my machine, right? So first let me download the file. So from where I'm going to download? So I will go to some website that is files example. So this website will have some test files basically, you can say. So files-examples.com. So I have used this website in one of my previous videos also, guys. So here if you come down, so we have something called document section. Just click on this browse. And we have many types of files here, but I want to choose the PDF file. So for the PDF file, I click on this select file size and download. So I will go with the lesser version first. So let me download this. So by default, this is actually opened in the Chrome browser, right? So I need to click on this download button and save this file. So I have saved the file into my local machine, guys. So now what exactly I want to do? I need to read this file. So for reading this one, right? So we need to get the path of this file, right? So how do you get the path? You can just get the path, this one, and append this one or something. Or you can directly click on shift, first select the file, then click on shift and right click on the file. So here you can see copy as path option is coming, right? So you need to press the shift and at the same time you need to press the right click in the mouse. Then you will get that option, guys. Okay. So first we need to create the file instance. So we have something called file class, right? So we need to create the instance for this file class. So why exactly we are creating the instance for file class? So this file is actually physically present in my machine, right? So this file is physically present in my machine, but I want to create the instance for this file inside the Java programming language, right? So for that we need to create the file instance. So here the single slash is going to throw the error. So I need to change this one to backslash, or I need to give double slash here. So I'll use double slash. So the file instance is created inside the Java. So we want to read the data from this file, right? So for reading the data, what are the options we have? We have something called input streams, right? So what exactly this input stream will do? It will read the data from the file in the raw format. So it will read the entire data and it will keep it in the form of a raw data. So it will not convert into any text format or Excel format or any PDF format, because it doesn't know what kind of data it is present. Okay. So that is why it will keep it in the raw format. So first let me use the file input stream, FIS, new file input stream. So I need to create the object for file input stream by passing the file. So which file I want to read. So this file input stream will read the data, right? So which file I want to read, that file I need to pass here. So this file input stream may throw one exception, guys. So the exception is file not found exception, but I'm going to choose the superclass of exception. So to avoid all the next exceptions, I'm going to choose the superclass of exception. So why file not found exception is coming? So whenever you are reading the data from this file, maybe the file may be found or may not be found, right? So that is why it is throwing the exception here. So now the data is present inside the file input stream. The raw data is available. Now it's time to convert the raw data into PDF document format, right? So here we have something called PD document. So this PD document class is coming from the PDF box, okay? The Apache PDF box library. So just click on this. So we need to create the reference, guys. So here when I say reference, you should not use new keyword to create the object. You need to load the data, okay? Why we need to load the data? So let me show you. So first I'll just name this variable document equal. So here we have already, the existing data. So when I use this like this, new PDF document, PD document. So what happens in this case? We are creating a new object, right? So we are creating the new object. That means we are trying to create a new PDF file here, but we don't want to create the new PDF file, right? We want to use the existing PDF file content only, okay? So the data is already present inside this file input stream. We want to convert the data into PDF format of data. So how do you do that? So you can directly use this class. So inside this class, we have a static method that is load. So in the load method, we have so many parameters, guys. You can pass the byte array, you can pass the file directly, you can pass the input stream. So like that, you can pass so many things. So if the file is actually, encrypted, you can pass the password also here. So like that, there are so many options here. So I don't have any password and anything. So I'm just going to use this method because I have input stream created already. So what I need to pass? I need to pass the input stream. So here basically the file instance is created, and here we have the raw data into this FIS. And now we are converting that raw data into PDF document format. Okay. So I'll do one thing. So I'll write like PDF document only. We will avoid the confusion here. Document, PDF document, like that. So we have the entire data into PDF document now. So from this PDF document, first I want to see how many pages are there. So how do I see that? So I'll try to directly print it. Okay. So this PDF document is having the pages and the content, right? So I will use PDF document dot get pages is the method. So get pages dot get count is the method to get the count of those pages. So once you perform this operation, we need to close the document, guys. So here the document means this PDF document basically. Document dot close, and in the similar way, whenever you open any stream, you need to close the streams also, right? FIS dot close. Fine. So let me run this one first. So I'm going to run this one as a test-ng test. So inside this class, we have only one test method. So that is why I'm running it as entire class. So here you can see it printed the value, that is 4. So if you go here, we have 4 pages here, right? So we were able to get the pages count. So now we want to read the data from these pages. Okay. So from which page you want to read? So first let's see from the entire document. Then we will go to the individual pages also. So how to read the data from the PDF document entirely? So further, this PDF box is providing one class file called PDF text stripper. So this will help us reading the data from the PDF file, guys. So we need to create the object for this PDF text stripper, and inside this we have the data. But we have created the object, but we did not pass this document to this one, right? So how this will read the data? This doesn't know which document it has to read, right? Yes, I'm going to come to that point, guys. Okay. So here inside this, we have some method called getText method. So when you use this getText method, you need to pass the document from which document you want to exactly read the data. So that document instance you need to pass here. So what is the document? This is the document, right? PDF document. So from this PDF document only we want to read the data. So here I'll store that into document text, one variable. So this part I want to print, guys. Okay. So I'll just write here doc text. So after that, let me click on enter. So now the code is ready. So what exactly we are doing? We are creating one PDF text stripper class which will help us in reading the data from the PDF file, and we are passing this document. So from one document we have to read the data, right? So from where you are going to read? From one specific document only you are going to read the data, right? So that is why for this get text method you need to pass the document. So after passing the document, the entire text from the PDF file will be coming and storing inside this doc text variable, and we are trying to print the doc text variable. So let me run this. So this time it has to print the pages count as well as the content. You can see the content is displayed, guys. So here the pages are 4 and the content is displayed. So let me just put these two things in the parallel mode. So just to see. So here we have something called lorem ipsum. The next lorem ipsum $sit emet. So it is some language, guys. I don't know what language it is. So just check the content. That's it. It doesn't matter which language it is, right? So lorem ipsum $sit met. So here it ends with audio, and here also it is ending with audio, and you can see this information is also displayed here. So you cannot read this chart and you cannot read images and all, but this entire information, whatever the text is present inside this one, that entire text will be also displayed here. You can see row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, that is also displayed here, and 0 to these values also displayed, and column values also displayed, right? So till here one page, and after that the next page starts in non-Morris gesto. Okay, something, I don't know what exactly this is. In non-Morris gesto, something is there, right? So we are able to read the entire data. So let's go to the last line and let's see. So as I said, we cannot read the images, so just ignore this image, then go back to this one. So here you can see said torpis intermediate something, guys. Okay, you just read it. I don't read it because it look awkward. So it ends with emet id Cephean, guys. That means we are able to read the entire data from this PDF file, right? So now what exactly I want to do? I want to verify one value. That is, for that purpose only we are actually doing this entire thing, right? We are reading the data to verify whether the content is present inside this or not, right? So simply what I want to do is I want to verify this document text is completely starting with this lorem ipsum or not. So how do I verify that? So we don't have any assertion like that, right? So in TestNG we are going to use assertions. That is one thing. But in assertions we don't have any method to verify whether it is starting with this one or not, right? So you need to implement the logic, guys. Okay. So how you need to implement? So let me call the assert class first. So inside the assert class we have something called assert true, right? So for this assert true we are going to pass the boolean condition, right? So we need to implement the logic that will return as a boolean value. So if it is starting with this text, then it should return true. If it is not starting with this text, it should return the false value. So how exactly you are going to do? So this doc text dot starts with is one method that is available on top of string, guys. So what you want to verify? If that starts with this text, then it will return true, right? So otherwise it will return the false value. Okay. So here I'm using the hard assertions. I'm not using soft assertions. That means if this is failed, then immediately it will throw the exception here itself. So let me run this. That means the test is also becoming the failure. So here you can see the test is actually passed, right? So run is 1 and pass is 1. That means that whatever the assertions I have written, that is successful now. So if I put another character here like this is actually not starting with this text, right? So this time let me execute this. So this time it should fail, guys. So because it is not starting with the text, you can see the assertion is failed, right? So this is how we have to perform the assertions. So if you want to perform the assertion like anything contains, so this is contains, okay? So I'll consider this text and let me use contains method here, okay? So in the similar way, you can just run this program. So if this entire text is containing this, word or not, that I am checking it. So that thing is passed. So if I add any value like 1, 2, 3 here, that is not contained, right? So let me verify that is there or not. So here, how do you verify the values? So here we need to just press Ctrl F and we need to verify, right? So there are no matches with this text. So that means my test should fail. So let me run this. You can see the test is failed, okay, because this text is not available. This text is not contained inside the entire text. So that is why this assertion is failed. So now you understand how to, read the data and how to perform the assertions also, right? So here we have read the complete data, okay? So we have 4 pages and all the 4 pages data we have read here, right? So here let's see how to read the data from the specific pages. So if you want to read the data, which class you are actually using? We are using the PDF text stripper class, right? So if you want to read the data from only a single page or multiple pages, then we have to make the changes to this PDF text stripper class only, okay? So let me use this instance dot. We have 2 methods, guys. Those are set start page and set end page. So this one is the start page, set start page. So we have to provide which starting page. So basically here the index will start from 1, guys. You will not have any 0 index, right? Because the pages will start from the first page only, right? So you will not have 0th page. So here I will say 1, and I need to specify the ending also. Because why do you need to specify the ending? That is because it is a range, okay? You cannot directly specify only 1 page. For example, let me explain. So here I want to read only first page. So that is one scenario. Or I want to read only third page. So that is one scenario, right? Here I am specifically mentioning only 1 page number. But in some scenarios, right? So in some scenarios, I want to read the data between 2 pages. From 2nd page to 4th page, or from 3rd page to 4th page, or from 1st page to 3rd page. So here this is called as a range, right? So the starting point you need to provide and the ending point also you need to provide. So that is why we have to provide 2 points here, the starting page as well as ending page. So let me use the end method here, set end page. So this is the method I need to use. So if I want to get only 1 page data, I need to use the same value here and here also. I mean, that means only 1 page basically. So let me just run this. So it is going to print only 1 page data, guys, now. So you can see it says the entire pages are 4 and it is printing only this much content, okay? You can see till column 3 only it is printing the data. So till column 3 means only the first page, right? So it is not printing any of this text in non-Morris Gesto, right? So that is how you need to read the data from 1 page. Okay, let's see from 2 pages also. So let's see from 1 to 3. So let me execute this. So you can see, I mean, the test is failed because that the word is not actually contained, okay? But you can observe this text, okay? So it is reading till said top is impredict. So this one, something, okay? So just go to the 3rd page ending, guys. So here you can see. So this is the text that is printed, right? So if you want to get only from the 2nd to 4th, that is also possible. So 2nd to 3rd, okay? So that means, let me run this. So this time the column, row and all should not be present. So here you can see those values are not present here, right? The columns and rows and all. So those are actually present inside the first page. So now I have only given 2 to 3. That means 2 and 3 only will be printed. Okay. So these values are not coming here, right? So this is how you need to read the data from the PDF file, guys. So if you want to read the entire data, don't mention any start and end page. So if you want to read the data only between 2 page range, I mean any page range, then you need to mention the start and end. Okay, so this one is completed. File is available in the local machine. So now we have seen if the file is actually available in the local machine, then how to read the data that we have seen, right? So we have also seen how to assert the values also, right? So in the similar way, I'm going to show you now how to read the data if the file is actually available in the internet. So if the file is available in the internet means like this. So if the URL is this one, so here you can see when you look at this address, this is actually coming from the fileexamples.com server, right? So it is not actually present in my local machine. It is coming from the internet only, right? So directly I want to read this data. So that is also possible. So if you want to go to this location, first you need to perform some steps, right? So you need to click on these buttons and all, right? So let me add the code for that quickly. So I'm not going to explain these things, guys. So I think you all know how to write the code, Selenium code, right? So I'm not going to explain this one. I'll just comment these 3 things. So these 3 are going to change basically. So I need to add the code for opening the web browser. WebDriver manager dot. Okay, what exactly happened here? I just commented the method also. That is why it is throwing error. Chrome driver dot setup. And after navigating to that URL, I need to click on this browse button. So let me just inspect this. So this one is having the link text and it doesn't have any ID and anything. So I need to write the XPath h3 and text. So I think you already know how to write the XPath, right? So by using following sibling access method, I'm going to identify this anchor tag. Following hyphen sibling and the tag name is A. So it is highlighting this browse button. Okay. Driver dot find element by XPath. What is the XPath? This is the XPath. Dot click. We need to perform the click operation, right? So in the similar way, I want to click 3 more buttons. Okay, two more buttons basically. So let me click on this. So once I navigate into this website, I need to click on this button. So this button is also having same text. Okay, but I want to click on that button based on this text, guys. So copy this PDF and let me change this one. So I'll show you here. Okay. So these things, this PDF is present inside one TD and this link is present inside another TD. So first I will identify this PDF, then I will go, I'll use the following sibling method and I will go into this TD and I will identify the anchor tag. Okay. So TD, so following sibling is TD and inside that anchor tag. Okay. So this is the XPath. So the second one I need to replace. And when I click on this, it is going to show some, file sizes. So the similar way, okay. So whatever the XPath I have written, in the similar way, I'll just replace this text. So I need to click on this first one, okay. So let me just replace this. So after you click on this, so it will open the PDF basically. That means this URL is actually containing the PDF address, right? PDF address is in the URL. So I need to get the URL. So how do you get the URL? So string, I will say URL string, okay, and driver dot get current URL. So this is the method to get the current URL inside the browser, right? So after this, I need to create the URL instance inside the Java, guys. So here we are getting the URL, but this URL is in the form of a string. So I need to create the URL instance here, okay. So URL is coming from the java.net package, URL new URL. So for what we are creating the URL instance, for this URL string only we are creating the URL instance. So we need to pass that one here. In my previous example, what we did, we have passed something called input stream here, right? So whenever you use this method, we are calling the, we are passing the input stream. So let me copy this. So here also we need to pass the input stream, but we don't have any file, right? So we don't have any physical file in my local machine. So I cannot create the file instance and I cannot create the file input stream, right? So there is another way, guys. Okay. So first let me import these references. So there is another way. So what is that way? For this URL itself, you can create the input stream. So how do you create the input stream? URL dot open stream. So this is the method to create the input stream. So it will directly create the connection to the URL and it will read the data. The rest of the code will be same only. So let me run this. And here we need to do one more thing. So we don't want to close the file input stream because we are not using any file input stream itself, right? So, but we want to close the browser. So we are opening the browser, right? We want to close the browser. So let me run this program. So this time it is going to open the Selenium web browser. Then it is going to go and navigate to till that PDF file and it will read that PDF file location and then it will read the data. Okay, let it complete. Then I will explain you guys. Okay. So actually test is failed because I have added the negative test. So let me change this one to this value and I want to read the data from first page. So let me run this again. So this time my test should pass. So here as I am using hard assertion, that is why the browser window is actually not closed. Okay. So it is going till that PDF page. You can see. And immediately the browser window is closed. That is because this assertion is passed, guys. So this assertion is passed. That is why this code is actually executed. And here you can see in the similar way, it is trying to print the number of pages. Here we are not reading the, we are not reading the entire data from the local file itself. There is nothing called local file here, right? So we are reading everything from the internet itself, right? So that is how you have to read the data from the internet. So here what exactly we are doing, we are opening the Chrome browser and we are navigating to this website and we are clicking on these buttons to open the PDF. And once the PDF is opened, we are reading that address of the PDF. So that PDF is present inside some, server, right? So that entire address we are reading and we are creating the URL instance and we are opening the stream for this URL. So you can do one more thing, guys. So if you don't want to perform all these steps, right? So what you can do is you can just comment these things and you can directly pass the URL also. Okay, so that is also possible, guys. So I'll just copy this URL. So I'm going to pass the URL directly here. So which is again pointing to the server only. Okay, this file is not available in my local, it is pointing to the server only. So let me run this. So it is showing some error. So what exactly the error is? Okay, so I am not using any driver related code, so I should not use the driver.quit also. Okay, so let me run this file again. So you can see it passed the test case and in the console the text is printed and the number of pages also printed, right? So this time we are not opening the browser. Okay, we are directly passing this URL, right? So that is why we are not opening the browser. So here we are opening the browser just to get this URL only. Okay, nothing else. Just to get this URL, we are opening the browser. So if you get that URL already inside your script, right? So you don't need to open the browser itself. So this is how we need to read the data from the PDF files using Apache PDF Box, guys. So now you got the idea, right? So if you have the file already available in the local machine, then you need to create the file instance and use the file input stream, then create the PDF document instance and perform the same operations like creating the PDF text stripper instance and reading the data from that, right? So that is the process. If the file is not actually available inside the local machine, that means if the file is available in the internet, then we need to create the URL instance here. Okay, so we need to create the URL instance and for this URL instance, we need to open the stream. Then the rest of the code will be same only. So this is how we have to perform the reading operation from the PDF, guys. So we have to read the data from the PDF and we have to do some assertions here. Okay, based on our requirement, we have to do the assertions. It is very simple, right? It's pretty straightforward. Nothing we are doing much here. Okay, we are using two class files. What are those two class files? The first one is PDF document, PD document, and the next one is PDF text stripper. So these are the two classes that we are actually using from the PDF box. So nothing else, guys. Okay, so if you are reading the data from the PDF box, you are going to use only these two files. If you are performing any other operations like editing the data or creating the new file and all, then we are going to use the other classes also. But for reading, only these two classes we are going to use. So that is about this video, guys. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and also share this video with your friends. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. So there are lot of new videos coming in. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So that is about this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.